Interesting.
You know, just to the left is Heinz Field, where the Steelers play. And speaking of football, our next guest has written an inspiring sports novel series that is helping teach kids what it takes to make their dreams come true. We're joined this morning by David Doyle to find out more about his book titled Parker and the new one out this morning, Parker Prep. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you were a Division I college football
Yes,
player,
yes.
and that kind of helps set the stage for these books. Give us an idea of what is the story of Parker.
Yeah, I was a Division I player many pounds ago. And,
me too, and I wasn't Division I though.
Right. Parker Hayes, I think more had to do with coaching at that time. I was coaching youth football, and Parker Hayes is a wonderful story about a 12-year-old young man who dreams about playing the game and kind of navigates through, faces some resiliency, discovers who he is, and finds some success and finds out more about his family. So it's just a really good story. And Parker Prep just released on Tuesday and is an Amazon bestseller already.
That's awesome.
And this is the transition to him in high school, where he kind of navigates a new city, new town, new relationships, and all of that.
So football is kind of like the backdrop for, but
Yes.
but it's not football centric. It's really the life lessons and stories that he goes through.
Absolutely.
What is the message you're hoping kids take from these books when they read them?
Well, one of the things, I just want to get kids engaged in reading.
Yeah.
And get them back reading and loving some relevant reading, practical, where they can see themselves in the literature and say, oh, that reminds me of my friend, or that reminds me of me. I just, I want to have something that really connects with them.
How much of your story is, I know it's fictional, the book, but how much of your story and your experiences are woven into Parker, the character?
Yeah, I always say there's a little bit of Parker in all of us, and there's definitely a little bit of me and Parker, and I just think some of the characteristics that he has, I wish I had, but he's just a great young man, and he loves the game, and he's open and eager to continue to grow and evolve and all that.
You mentioned that you came up with the idea while you were coaching youth football. What is it that you saw in kids that made you think this book was needed?
Yeah, I think the dreams that the kids had, the stories, and they wanted to, Coach Doyle, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna go into the NFL, and just listening to them kind of plan and see their journey, and then also being on the other end, being an educator and listening to students come in and talk about their weekend and how the game went, or on the flip side, they weren't allowed to play. So it's just so many different stories and things that I've heard, from students that I've been able to kind of embed in the literature.
And I read something that these books have now somehow been incorporated with either curriculum or reading programs for kids in school?
Sure, there's a lot of schools that are buying class sets and using it as their novel for the classroom, and being able to engage students, and we've made some book trailers so that students can, students learn visually, and so we wanted to make sure that there was some book trailers to help support the reading and back it.
You mentioned the new one, Parker Prep's on the Amazon bestseller list. When you first started out in this, did you have any ambitions or any thoughts that may happen?
You know what? It was about execution. It was about finishing. I wanted to finish, and then once I finished, I'm like, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
This is kind of good. And once I got it out there, I saw the reaction and the success that it had. So I was very excited.
You brought a couple copies. I want to hold them up
to
show them. We got Parker and Parker Prep. They are both available on Amazon right now. Correct? In fact, this one just dropped yesterday, right?
Just dropped yesterday, yes.
All right. David, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.